Hello dear readers and subscribers. Today we're having a closer look at watercolor, a medium that is often overlooked when it comes to its presence in contemporary art, perhaps because it seems to drown in the more generally used label works on paper, diminishing its material specificity and therefore its presence. Sometimes it seems like there is no place for watercolor in the art world, and if you do a quick online search, you'll notice that not a single major art platform or online magazine has covered this topic, and predominantly we see some blogs in fine arts. So does watercolor have a place? Well, that's exactly what we're going to address in this video, presenting 20 emerging and industry-leading contemporary artists working watercolor, in which watercolor has a significant role in their body of works, illustrating that there clearly is a place for watercolor in contemporary art. Tamaris Borelli is a French artist whose work revolves around the living world, its fragility, its durability, and its continual metamorphosis. Her watercolors on kozo paper embody and visualize an ongoing engagement with landscape and dreaming, where matter, species, and forms of knowledge intersect to suggest the possibility of another world. Marcel Zama is known for his immediately recognizable visual language. Drawing from folk traditions, art history, and popular culture, Zama constructs a universe inhabited by hybrid figures, dreamlike rituals, and references that oscillate between childhood fantasy and political allegory, rendered in a unique combination of pearlescent acrylic ink, graphite, and watercolor on paper. Slawomir Elsner is a Berlin-based artist whose recent work focuses on drawing and watercolor. Working primarily in series, his drawings possess what has been described as a sharpened blur, a contradictory clarity in which precision results in optical softness, as if viewed through translucent glass, producing layered watercolors that range from depictions of star constellations to abstract illusions of lightness, such as airy curtains. Walton Ford is known for his monumental watercolor paintings that expand upon the visual tradition of natural history illustration, drawing on scientific field studies, fables, and myths, investigating the entangled relationship between human culture and the natural world. Though rarely depicting human figures directly, his compositions often imply their presence through allegorical narratives of disruption, dominance, and transformation. Fabrice Gigi is a multidisciplinary artist whose work critically engages with the structures of authority embedded in contemporary society. Gigi initially worked in radical performance before turning to sculpture, and in recent years, his practice has shifted to smaller scale formats, including lino cuts, silver pendants, and watercolors. These watercolors balance abstraction and structure, solid, luminous fields of color, countered by the severity of gridded forms. Camille Enrault is a multidisciplinary artist whose practice spans drawing, painting, sculpture, installation, and film, exploring the complexity of contemporary life, drawing from literature, internet culture, self-help, poetry, and the routines of the everyday. Although predominantly known for her video work and installations, Enrault produces tremendously sensual and subtle paintings using oil on canvas, as well as watercolors on paper. Callum Innes is a leading figure in contemporary abstract painting, known for a practice that explores the tension between construction and erasure. Alongside oil painting, watercolor plays a significant role in his practice, layering a limited amount of watercolor brushstrokes, playing with transparency and color theory to create maximum effect with minimal effort. Min Young Kim is known for a refined and meditative body of work that merges traditional East Asian techniques with the formal language of Western minimalism. Trained in calligraphy and watercolor, her exposure to artists such as Constantin Brancusi, Carol André, and Bryce Marden played a formative role in shaping her approach to composition, material, and process. La Chola Poblete is a multidisciplinary artist whose practice includes watercolor, oil painting, sculpture, and installation. Working with a distinct personal iconography, she engages critically with colonial histories, indigenous identity, and the politics of representation. Her installations often combine delicate works on paper with sculptural forms to construct layered environments that explore the dynamics of cult, ritual, and collective memory. Kim McCarthy is known for her atmospheric watercolor paintings that explore themes of impermanence, transformation, and the fragility of both human and natural forms. Working with a wet-on-wet technique, McCarthy embraces the fluid unpredictability of watercolor to render faces, figures, animals and flora in states of transition. Now that we're halfway through our list, as always, I briefly want to thank Squarespace for their generous support in making it possible to continue to create these free videos and listicles. Squarespace came out on top in our independent survey in search for the best website builder for artists, and as a result we have created a complete tutorial for you, including a template to save you a lot of time to create an industry-approved artist website. As always, everything will be linked in the description below and in the pinned comment. Harland Miller is an artist and writer known for his text-based paintings that merge literary reference, Northern English humor, and painterly abstraction. Drawing on the visual vernacular of penguin book covers, self-help manuals, and commercial signage, Miller's work engages the graphic and narrative dimensions of language, while interrogating its emotional, psychological, and cultural weight. David Novros is an American artist whose work explores the relationship between painting, architecture, and spatial experience. His work is defined by an intuitive approach to color, form, and surface, rejecting traditional painting in favor of a more dynamic integration of painting. So beyond his frescoes and irregularly shaped paintings, Novros is lauded for his exquisite works on paper as well. Joachim Nordström is a Swedish artist known for his intricately composed collages, watercolors, graphite drawings, and architectural sculptures. His works often unfold as imagined tableaus, populated with figures, animals, buildings, furniture, and objects drawn from disparate times and places. Though improvisational in appearance, his works are rich in narrative, detail, and marked by a highly personal visual language. Chris O'Philly is a British artist whose richly layered paintings navigate themes of desire, identity, myth, and representation. Although predominantly known for his painterly practice combining oils with, for instance, charcoal, glitter, but also collage elements, gold leaf, or even elephant dung, his oeuvre also includes a significant body of exquisite watercolor works. Gabriela Oberkofler is a German artist whose work centers on drawing and watercolor as a means of investigating the fragile intersection between nature and culture. Known for her often large format compositions, she deconstructs botanical forms, leaves, flowers, seeds, and reassembles them into visual arrangements that blur its boundary between the scientific observation of it, but also its poetic abstraction. Even though inkwash is technically speaking different from watercolor, both share a fluid materiality and a visual language built on transparency, layering, and the subtle modulation of tone. These affinities are central to the work of Françoise Petrovich, who engages in a subtle dialogue with the canon of art history, while transgressing its boundaries. Joanna Pousset-Dart is known for her shaped abstract paintings that merge formal innovation with a deep sensitivity to place, light, and line. Her use of color, often subtly modulated, suffuses the work with a luminous natural resonance, exemplified by her subtle works on paper, often combining acrylic washes and watercolor. Janaina Chepe is a German-Brazilian artist whose multidisciplinary practice draws on memory, mythology, and natural environments, particularly the coastal and riverine landscapes of Brazil. In her large-scale paintings, she uses layers of Gaussian, watercolor, and oil with precise systems of mark-making in pastel, pencil, and pigment, creating luminous compositions where organic motifs suggest transformation, movement, and mythological hybridity. Kara Walker is a New York-based artist whose multidisciplinary practice confronts the historical and psychological legacy of slavery in the United States. Working across drawing, watercolor, silhouette, printmaking, sculpture, installation, and film, Walker constructs complex visual narratives that expose the persistent undercurrents of racism, violence, and exploitation embedded in American cultural memory. Stanley Whitney is an American painter whose vibrant abstractions investigate the relationship between color, rhythm, and structure. Working within a self-imposed compositional format, loosely gridded blocks and bars, Whitney composes his canvases in a top-down manner, allowing each color to determine the next, in a process of intuitive call and response. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to watch our video on the best contemporary painters today next. Support us on Patreon and please consider subscribing to stay posted for more contemporary art. Bye.